Okay, this week's game is Lost Cities. It's another fun two-person game, and this one's mostly a card game.
Yep, it's a card game. It's meant for 2 people. It can be expanded for 4 people, but we haven't played it that way, so I don't really know how that plays. You have to have 2 copies to do 4 people, but we're not talking about that today. Let's get the game set up, and we'll teach you how to play it. The game set up, we have the game board out. On the game board, you'll notice there's a yellow, blue, white, green, and red spot. Those are to play the corresponding cards. We've each been dealt 8 cards. And on the cards, there are different colors with numbers. The numbers go from 2 to 10. And those colors correspond with these sections on the board. In addition to the numbered cards, we also have these handshake cards, and these act as multipliers. We'll teach you how to play with those shortly. So let's go to the first play of the game. I'll go first with my cards. I'll show you my hand. I won't let Rachel see it. Somehow I got lucky. I got a bunch of green cards. It's probably not luck. I probably cheated to set that up. So on my turn, the first thing I need to do is play a card. And I can play one of my expeditions. The green's an expedition, the blue's an expedition, the red's an expedition. Down on my side of the board. Because I have all of these cards, I probably want to start playing this green expedition. Every time I start an expedition, I automatically lose 20 points. So I have to make those 20 points up. Right now I have 9, 8, 4, and 2. And that gives me well over 20 points. So that's a good expedition for me to start. By using this handshake card, if I use one handshake, it's going to double my final score on that expedition. The handshake is optional, but to win you probably need to take that risk and use your handshakes when you can. So I'm going to start my turn by playing this handshake card here on the green expedition on my side of the board. That's my play, and then from the draw pile, I'll take the top card, put it in my hand, and play goes to Rachel. Let's see what Rachel has in her hand.
Okay, my hand looks like this. I have a lot of red cards, a lot of yellow cards. I have a handshake, a 2, a 4, an 8, and 9 that are all red, and then I have a yellow 5, 7, and 8. So what I'm thinking right now is that I'm definitely going to go for the red because I have several cards to try to make my 20 points. So I'm going to start by laying down the handshake card, and then I'm going to draw from the top.
And then play cycles back to me again. You can see I drew a white 10 on my last draw. My green cards are still there, so I'm going to want to go ahead and play on these green cards. I have to play my cards from lowest to highest. So I have to start with the 2. I could start with the 4, but it doesn't allow me to use the 2 later. And there's times where it may be coming to the end of the game and I need to get points down, so I'll skip some of those low cards just to get my minimum points. But right now it's early on, so I'll play my 2 on that green spot again. And then I'll draw the top card, and play goes back to Rachel. So we played through with a couple of our cards. I'm still working on the green expedition. I've got my handshake, my 2, my 4, and a 6. Rachel's at a point where she could discard if she wanted to. She still has some red cards in her hand. She's got a handshake red, a 2, and a 4 red over there. So she may be waiting to get a 5 and a 6 in here, thinking she can get one from the draw pile. She's also got a green 3 and a green 5. Because I've played a green 4 and a green 6, I can't play these anymore on my side. So if she wants to, she can take this 3 or 5, discard it to the center of the green expedition piles, and then draw a new card as her turn. So I've gone through and I've finished this entire expedition. I've topped out at number 10. I obviously can't go any higher than that. I've got one handshake card in there, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, and 10. So my goal from here is to start another expedition. This one is done. Rachel has discarded a 3 and a 5 green. Instead of drawing from the draw stack, she can draw on her turn from the top of this if she wanted, if she decided she got more greens, but I don't think she'll get the 20 points to start that expedition, so they'll probably just stay there. Now she has also discarded a red handshake. There's no reason for her to keep this in her hand because she's already started her expedition, so there's nothing she can do with it. On my turn I can draw this if I start getting reds and I decide that I want to start a red expedition. But for now, it stays there. We have our completed game board here. This is how we're going to score this. We've got that handshake here. I'm going to put that to the side for now. We'll add these cards up, and that'll come to 39 points. And because I started an expedition, I lose 20 points from that. So that'll give me 19 points. But then I had this handshake, and because I used one handshake to start this expedition with, I will get a multiplier of 2. So my total score for the green expedition will be 38 points. Got my white expedition. I didn't use a handshake on this, so I don't need to worry about a multiplier. My total for these cards is 30, and again, I started an expedition, so I lose 20 points, and I get a total of 10 points for my white set. And here's the set that went wrong. Started with a handshake. I only had a 6 and a 3, so I had a 9. I have to subtract 20 from that, so I'm in the hole. I'm down to a negative 11, and because of that handshake again, I only used one handshake. It's a multiplier of 2, so I'm at negative 22. My total for all 3 of my routes, or expeditions, is 26 points. Did the same thing with Rachel's. She's got her handshake, and then her cards for red. Her total's 30, minus her 20, gives her 10, times 2 is 20 points total for this. Her blue, there was no handshakes with. The total for her blue is 26, minus the 20 for the expedition, gives her 6 points for blue. And then yellow. One handshake, we'll put that to the side. Her yellow total was 29, minus 20 for the expedition, gives her 9. Times 2 is 18. Her total score for her 3 expeditions over there came to 44 points, so she beat me that round. If we want to start over, we'll shuffle the cards again and deal 8 each and keep going.